What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. I hit that like button and hit the subscribe button. Lord Jamar is 100%, 1,000% a hypocrite all the way through and through. And I know all of us can be hypocritical at times, but like, this is just crazy, okay? For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Lord Jamar went back on Vladtv after a 5-year hiatus. Not a hiatus. 5-year, like he was leading the charge for people not going on Vlad, saying he not going on Vlad, basically, and people around him and associated with him were all walking in lockstep with him on not going on Vlad, right? So let me give y'all a rewind. Lord Jamar of the iconic rap group Brand Nubian, right? Lord Jamar started to make his, what's the word I'm looking for? He started to gain, not relevance, but yeah, popularity. He started to gain popularity with the youth, the younger generation, people who did not know who Brand Nubian was, right? He started gaining popularity with Brand Nubian, not with Brand Nubian, with younger audiences around 2013 when he started to go on Vladtv, right? Y'all know DJ Vlad. Vlad got the popular YouTube platform. He's an interview platform where he talks and interviews many different people from many walks of life. Lord Jamar went on there around 2013 and he became a recurring guest, a regular. Lord Jamar's videos with Vlad has done mega views. They have many viral moments. They've talked about a lot of interesting topics. They have a lot of entertaining videos all the way through and through together, right? He was a guest on Vlad, like a recurring guest on Vlad all the way up until 2020, until COVID. And what happened was Vlad, DJ Vlad, he misquoted Minister Louis Farrakhan. And basically, he was saying that Farrakhan was inciting violence against Jewish people, right? But that he misquoted Farrakhan. And when he did that, when he misquoted him, people like, people in the Nation of Islam, people closely associated with Lord Jamar were furious about it, right? Lord Jamar saw people's reaction to it. He saw Vlad was not willing to apologize for misquoting Minister Farrakhan. And he decided, you know what? I'm going to remove myself from Vlad's platform, especially when he saw how people around him felt about it and how it could be perceived with him like going on there, feeling like he's standing with Vlad while Vlad is misquoting Minister Farrakhan and making him look like a villain against Jewish people and everything like that. And so Lord Jamar said, I'm not going on there anymore. Godfrey, a close friend of Lord Jamar, he also decided he wasn't going to go on there after Vlad refused to apologize to Louis Farrakhan for misquoting him, right? And they both separated from Vladtv's platform, and Lord Jamar had his own podcast going. Godfrey became a recurring guest on Lord Jamar's platform. They was doing their own thing for many, 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 many years, okay? Until, this is what happened. Probably, I want to say back, what was this? Some months ago. Was this December, January? Let me say this. Godfrey had his own podcast as well. He got, I think it's called the In Godfrey We Trust podcast. He got his own situation going. So Godfrey would go on Lord Jamar's podcast and he would have his own show. So I want to say, the last year or so, Lord Jamar has been very vocal, maybe longer than that. He's been very vocal about the earth being flat and how he thinks a lot of these scientists are lying to people and not telling people the truth, so on and so forth. And he don't believe them, right? He went on Godfrey's podcast. Lord Jamar went on Godfrey's podcast talking about how, he's willing to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson and all of these other intellectuals to show them that the earth is flat. It's not round. The earth is flat. They don't know what they're talking about. All of that. He's a flat earther all the way through and through. So then Godfrey, Dante Nero, who's a co-host of Godfrey, he brought on, instead, he couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, so he went and got a guy named Professor Dave. Professor Dave comes onto Godfrey's platform. Now, first, they told Lord Jamar, Because Lord Jamar said he was ready for all the smoke. He was ready to debate anybody, all of the above. He was willing to debate whoever. And he was confident in his debate skills. So they're like, okay, cool. We're going to get you up here with a guy named Professor Dave. Lord Jamar perfectly fine with it. He on the show, chilling, kicking it. Come on, bring him on. He all with it. He with all the smoke. They bring Professor Dave on, and Professor Dave embarrasses Lord Jamar in this debate. Let me say this first. Before Professor Dave even got on, Lord Jamar was insulting him, calling him all type of names before he even popped up on the screen to even talk. When he got on, Professor Dave was proving him wrong about a lot of things, so Lord Jamar resorted back to insulting. Well, and Professor Dave came on, he was already, feeling away because he heard Lord Jamar insulting him. And I don't think Lord Jamar knew that Professor Dave could hear him insulting him. So anyway, Professor Dave basically embarrasses him in their whole debate and proves basically the earth is round. Lord Jamar gets pissed off. He gets pissed because he got embarrassed on a public platform. So then he asks Godfrey, can Godfrey take the video down of him being embarrassed in this debate? He didn't want the world to keep seeing him getting smoked in this debate. Godfrey then took it down, right? However, what he didn't know is Professor Dave was recording this whole debate on his end. And so Professor Dave had it up on his channel for the world to see. Lord Jamar could not run from the embarrassment, so he got pissed off. He started to blame Godfrey. He said, Godfrey set me up. He set me up. He going in. I mean, this is Godfrey is a guy who's been a good friend of his for years. Godfrey was going on Lord Jamar's platform, supporting him for the longest of time, being a good friend with him, being an ally with him. You know what I mean? And Lord Jamar really led the charge with people stepping away from Vlad. And out of Lord Jamar's own mouth, he says, Godfrey stepped away because I did it to stand with me. He didn't really want to step away from Vlad. He did it to stand with me. He did it. He's easily manipulated. Look how I got him to leave Vlad and all of that, right? Well, he was being a good friend to you. He rolled with you all the way through and through, right? And you got so upset that you got embarrassed in a debate that you said you were confidently saying you would smoke anybody in a debate. You were so upset that he got embarrassed. You got embarrassed in a debate on his show that you're blaming him. He sabotaged me. It was a setup. He blamed Godfrey's co-host, Dante Nero, and said, Dante, he's a slick talking dude. He's a former pimp. He drugged me. He drugged me. He drugged me with the weed he had. He gave me the weed. And I'm like, Dante Nero was smoking the weed too. He's going to drug himself and drug you too, Lord Jamar? It didn't make any sense. And I covered all of this on my channel months ago, right? And so after that, him and Godfrey fell out because he started talking about, he acting like he wanted to sue Godfrey, calling Godfrey all out of his name, all of the above, right? And then this particular thing happened. I'm sorry I'm long-winded. He says, now watch Godfrey go back to Vladtv. Watch he run back to Vlad. Watch he run back to Vlad. That is what Lord Jamar said. So he was saying, watch Godfrey do something dishonorable and run back to Vladtv. Watch him run back over there. Okay? Now, Vlad has since apologized. He apologized a while after he got all the backlash from people about misquoting Minister Farrakhan. Vlad eventually apologized to Minister Farrakhan, right? But Lord Jamar was acting like it didn't matter, or whatever. Act like he wasn't gonna go on there. And then he said, watch Godfrey go on Vladtv. Watch him run back to Vlad. Right? To say that was something dishonorable. To say, hey, that's something that's just cowardly to do. That's something that is shameful to do. And lo and behold, it wasn't Godfrey that ran back to Vladtv. It was you, Lord Jamar. It was you. You went back over there, right? And so let me say this, right? And I'm always honest with you all. Do I watch Vladtv interviews? Yes, I do. And the reason why I don't watch it consistently all the time, but I watch it sometimes because Vlad will get people that aren't on other platforms, that other platforms won't get or just can't get or don't even try to get, right? I'm a boxing fan. I watch Vlad interview Zab Judah. I watched him interview Shane Mosley. I think he interviewed Shane. No, I don't think he interviewed Shane. He might have. He interviewed Zab Judah. He interviewed Buster Douglas. He interviewed Evander Holyfield. He interviewed Big Daddy Riddick Bowe, even though Riddick Bowe, you can understand sometimes what Riddick be saying a little bit because he slurred from all the headshots. I'm a big fan of boxing. And Evander Holyfield is my favorite heavyweight from the 90s. So I always want to see these interviews from these boxing legends. Like I said, I'm a huge boxing fan. And Vlad will have these people on his platform. So he'll have some interesting people to interview that I can't see be interviewed elsewhere, especially at that time, because a lot of the other platforms like Art of Dialogue and Comedy Hype, they'll get these people that Vlad interview months later or a year later, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But anyway, this is not even about me. This is about Lord Jamar leading the charge against Vlad and then presenting it as if Godfrey runs back to Vlad, it's dishonorable. And then you go and do the same thing. You try to condemn Godfrey for potentially doing. You see what I'm saying? How can people trust your word and look at you as a man of integrity when you say, watch he go run back to Vlad as if it's an insult, and then you do the same thing that you're trying to insult this man for doing? It looks crazy. It looks wild, right? But this flip-flop, you can see it happening a mile away. The reason why Lord Jamar went back on Vladtv is not because time has passed and everything is all good and Vlad has apologized and none of this other stuff, right? Because he said, I was looking at he said he was looking at him in Vlad's text thread, and it was a picture of a dog that he had that died. And he accidentally looked at the picture and he accidentally liked the picture, and him and Vlad got back in conversation. Do I think him liking that picture was an accident? No. I think that was a way for him and Vlad to have a conversation so he can get back in good with Vlad, so he can get back on his platform, because Vlad is now paying people to be on a platform. He wasn't paying people back then when he was interviewing Lord Jamar previously, but he's paying people now. And, I'm not against nobody getting a paper. I'm just telling y'all what it is. Lord Jamar's, his platform and his following has been damaged for several reasons, right? Him going against Godfrey, turning against Godfrey the way he did, it went down because of that, because people was pissed about it. A lot of his longtime supporters couldn't believe him. And then his MAGA loving, him riding with Donald Trump. People separated from him because of that. Okay? Now I can see, because if you were like, both parties are not good for us, so on and so forth. He was making every excuse in the book for every single thing Donald Trump did. As talking about what Donald Trump was a Democrat when he campaigned for the exonerated 5 to get the death penalty. He was a Democrat. What the fuck does it matter? He did it, and he never apologized for it after it was found out that these young men were innocent. He never apologize for it at all. And I mean, Lord Jamar was making every excuse for Donald Trump. You would have thought Donald Trump was Lord Jamar's long-lost daddy. The way he was riding out for Donald Trump, him and Judge Joe Brown be on the same bullshit. And a lot of people in Lord Jamar's audience was looking at him funny style. He was looking funny in the light. But when he went against Godfrey, that was a final straw for a lot of folks. Went against Godfrey because he lost the debate about the earth being flat. And he started trying to lead a crusade that Godfrey was a bad dude and Godfrey was, out to get him and Godfrey sabotaged him. He was looking crazy, right? Because at first he had a big following, especially when he went against Fat Joe, and Fat Joe talking about Puerto Ricans his Latinos and blacks created hip hop 50-50, which is not true. When he went against Fat Joe, he had a lot of support. Even me, I agree with Lord Jamar on that. You saw me on this channel agreeing with Lord Jamar, what Lord Jamar was saying, all the way through and through. But when you ride for Donald Trump like he your daddy, when you go against a guy that stood with you firmly, and Godfrey rode with you all the way, because you lost a debate that you out your own mouth said you were confident that you were about it. You wanted to debate Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Professor Dave fucked you up in a debate, and you got so upset at what happened that you trying to sully Godfrey's reputation, So his show took a hit, his following took a hit. So he said, you know what, I'm gonna go back to Vlad to get this paper, and to get my following back up and to gain a following again. And to get get back in good standing with a certain fan base of people, so on and so forth. With Vlad's fan base, I'm gonna get back in good standing with them, and I will build my fan base up again while simultaneously getting paid by Vlad. That's what that was about. It wasn't about him, oh, you apologized to Minister Farrakhan finally, and I was looking through some old text threads of us because I wanted to see a picture of my dog that I had when I went and did an interview with you because my dog died, and I was sentimentally looking at an old picture and I accidentally liked it. And no. This was all strategic. You want to get back, you want to get your platform back in good standing, and you want to get some paper. That's really what it's about. And again, people make up all the time. People forgive each other all the time. That's true. But when you lead the charge against Vlad, and when you recently say, watch Godfrey go back to Vlad, watch her run back to Vlad, right? As if it's something low to run back to Vlad, because you're saying it like it's a low thing to do, like it's embarrassing to do that, like it's cowardly to do that, like it's shameful to do that, right? Like it's weirdo behavior to run back to Vlad. When you present it as that to the public, watch Godfrey run back to Vlad. And then you do that same thing that you're accusing Godfrey of potentially doing, you look crazy in the limelight. You look crazy in the light, and people they're gonna look at you like, yo, how can we call you Lord Jamar Lord? How can we look at you as a man of integrity? How can we look at you as a person that is stand up and stand on all principles when you go against your own word? When you go against things that you say is the stand up thing to do, that you say is the righteous thing to do. You know what I mean? Like, cause he was out here saying it, I ain't going, like he was never going back. And people gonna be looking like, no. It look crazy. You feel me? And Vlad, no. Now Vlad looking at you like, everybody got a price. Look at him. He didn't came back over here. He didn't came back. After all he said, he back up over here because Vlad is very proud of his platform. And he's built a great platform up, but he's very prideful. Vlad is very arrogant. Very arrogant. And Vlad probably said, look at this motherfucker. I got his ass now. He crawling back over here. He need me now. His ass is in trouble. He need me now. Look at him. Because he always tell people, hey, thanks to Vladtv, you getting some more money now. Thanks to Vladtv, you getting booked for other interviews. Thanks to Vladtv, your album sales doing better. Because thanks to me, he always loved to Vlad throw that shit in there every time he interviewing certain people. Hey, man, Vladtv helps with a lot of things, man. Anytime somebody that's on the platform getting some other opportunities, he always say it's because of Vladtv. He makes sure he say that it's because of him and his platform. So when I see that type of shit in Vlad, I know Vlad say, look at him. Look at this motherfucker. He back over here. I got his ass. He talked all that shit for all them years. He crusaded against me. He tried to lead the charge against me and my platform. He was campaigning against me completely. He was saying that, nobody should be over here. He was making it seem like it was denigrating to come on my platform. And look at him. Now he's back over here. Vlad probably gave out that evil laugh. He probably gave out one of them goddamn old school sinister laughs from evil villain cartoons. The evil villains on the cartoons, them laughs they give. Gave out one of them joints when he seen that Lord Jamar wanted to come back on the platform. You feel me? Now he's sitting there smiling with Vlad. Now he trying to make it seem like nobody should be questioning nothing he doing, and these people don't even stand for nothing. No, don't try to turn it to other people when you try to present it as you was God body and you standing on all principles, you standing on this, that, you standing on what you said, you standing on your word, and then you went against your word and you went against something that you felt like was dishonorable. And I know you felt like it was dishonorable because you said, watch Godfrey go back and run back to Vlad. Now you're doing the same thing that you deemed dishonorable. How rich, like I always say, how rich, Lord Jamar. But I knew what Jamar was on when he was riding for Daddy Trump and treating Trump like he was his daddy, making every excuse in the book, like a kid whose father is absent and terrible as a motherfucker. And he always making every excuse. But Daddy sure did come to one of my games at one time and was there for 5 minutes. And he, he did smile one time in my game. He did say, "That my boy," at that one game, in kindergarten. And he was gone all the other time. But he still acknowledged I was his son, though. He still. He came that one time, though. He showed up that one time. He still, that's he making every excuse for Donald Trump. And I said, what the fuck? Do you want to be his right-hand man? Do you want to be his bud, his best buddy, his pen pal? Because what the hell is going on? But I already knew what he was on on that type of time. He would go on, Lord Jamar would go on an Art of Dialogue and get all his MAGA shit off. Get all his Trump supporting out of him. He would get it off on Art of Dialogue channel. Him and goddamn Judge Joe Brown, who's an old ass fool. It's a lot of old fools out here. It don't matter how many degrees they got, how educated they are. They sound silly and sound like drunk uncles. And Judge O'Brown be sounding like a drunk ass uncle, and a lot of stuff he be talking. And even some of the people who support him was saying it on his recent interview, skipping over topics and I'm talking crazy. You feel me? But Lord Jamar is an individual who think he's smarter than what he is. He doesn't read much, for real. He just goes, and listen, you don't got to read all the time to be smart. I'm not just saying that. But Lord Jamar is an individual, he hear one person say something and take it as law. And take it for face value. And he be on YouTube University and think that whatever this one person said on YouTube is law and is fact. And he treats it as such, which is why he was so confident and thinking that he can he could debate and show up Neil deGrasse Tyson in a debate about the earth being flat. And he got embarrassed. He got slapped around and spanked in an in a debate with Professor Dave. Spanked so bad that he wanted to blame Godfrey for setting him up and drugging him. You can't make this shit up at all. But all of this is Lord Jamar's fault. And Lord Jamar is over there on Vlad to get his platform back in good standing and to get some paper. That's it. That's all. And, I'm not shocked after I saw the trajectory that he had been on as of recently since the election. But it is what it is. Some people got a price. That's like me going on, having, as much as you see me go against people like Officer Tatum and Stevie Knight and them. That's like me going on their platform and acting like they my best buddies and best pals instead of challenging things they say to them and have them that's like me kicking it with them. You know what I'm saying? After I done told y'all they this, that, and the third, and they terrible for the community. That's like me riding out with them, smile and kicking it with them, hanging out with them, texting them, and them being my best buddies and best pals. Like, hell no. No. And if I ever do some shit like that, just know I'm not the same Malcolm y'all thought I was. If I'm in here chilling out with Officer Tatum, Stevie Knight, and goddamn the Cartier family. And the Hodge twins, etc. If I'm out here listening to Thomas Sowell and got them all on my channel, something is fucking wrong with me. Somebody has switched out my body. They've done the get out move on me. If you see that shit happen over here, I'm compromised in the worst way possible. They've done the brain swap on me. If you ever see that on my channel, me supporting all them dudes that I go against regularly. Anyway, man. Lord Jamar down bad because he out here, the guy he said was the guy not to go to, he done ran back to. I'm out here. I'm out, y'all. Machiavelli Mills TV. Peace.